I went randonauting again, and this time so much crazy stuff happened, so many coincidences. So I started with the intention of knowing who opposite everyday me is, and there's geese flying overhead. And I like to have an image to focus on. So I saw this picture the other day, and it is the outline of a person, a puddle shaped like a person in a field, and it's full of water, but it's reflecting the very blue sky with the clouds in it, and I don't know why I chose that to represent my intention, but that was what I chose to focus on, that image. And I chose to have the intention of opposite me because of where I ended up the first time when I did my first randonauting expedition, which you can see in the previous video. So I had that intention for the first 2 stops, and then I did a 3rd stop, and I decided to switch it up and focus on something a little more simple, and I chose friendship, and I just focused on 2 hands clasped together. So stick around to the end, because I realized some of these coincidences after I was all done randonauting, and it was just crazy this time. A lot of it ties back to my first randonauting experience, so I also recommend watching that if you're interested. Alright, so here's my adventure. So, started the Randonautica again, day 2, and just started on my walk, and there's this weird little crayfish guy on the path, which I mean isn't actually all that weird because cranberry bog ditch, and they sometimes live in the ditches, but it was just something different. Don't see that every day. Actually, another one that's been smashed, and there was one farther back, and then there's another one. There's a whole trail of crayfish. Here's another one. That's actually, I've never seen that before. That's pretty strange. But supposedly it's just dead straight ahead up on top of that hill. A lot of dirt bikes come along here, so I have to be kind of careful. I think it might be easier to climb up that way and then walk over, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. I never come back here because of the dirt bikes. I'm always like nervous I'm gonna get hit by dirt bikes, so this is really different. This tree is kind of cool. And it looks actually like there's a path right here. I'm getting pretty close to where I have to be. Let's see. The map was going to bring me through neighborhoods. I didn't really want to walk through the neighborhoods. So this whole this is like a hiking trail. I didn't know this was back here. There's a little pond down there, which is pretty close to where I am going, I believe. So another reason I don't really walk here is because, I mean, I don't know if it's in my imagination, but I swear the power lines give me a headache. And you just hear that crackling electricity sound, and it just feels really strange. So I don't really like walking right underneath them. Yeah, I think it's right down here. Let's see. Alright, I'm gonna go take a look at this little pond. Really pretty back in there. I don't know, but this is it's actually, so the back of that pond was where I was supposed to go. I don't want to walk around the edge because there's a trail cam right there, and I don't want to get on the trail cam. At least I'm pretty sure that's what that is attached to the tree, which is kind of weird. It's a really pretty little spot down in there. So from here I'll try another one, I guess. I don't think you can see that because of the sun. I'm standing directly under the power lines and it feels really weird. It gave me a void. And it's actually back the way it came. So let's go see what that brings me. And I was just walking along and I saw this rock sparkling here. But is it metal? It's really light. It's interesting. Looks like there's other little chips of the same. Never seen a rock like this before. There's some more. Is it a road? I don't know what that is. It's crazy. So this is Black Cat Preserve, which is a hiking trail. Black Cat Road. Yeah, it sent me here. I'm not done yet. And I forgot to say it is actually pretty coincidental because I think I made a video of this trail last year, and I think it's almost exactly 1 year ago to the day. I'll have to check on that, but pretty close to it. So I didn't see this little pathway when I came here last year. I don't think I did. This is amazing right here. There's all these birds. This is just steps in. This would be, if you're into bird watching, this would be an amazing spot. This is so cool right here. I really don't think I came along here last year. I don't remember it. Go look at the video. I didn't notice that when I went on to that side path. I was just sitting right here. It's pretty. Almost there, and look at that. Yesterday when I was doing the Randonautica, that's what I was picturing, a compass. That's crazy. So I just got here. This is it. This is the location, which is actually really close to that compass rock, which is really kind of a strange coincidence, because that is exactly what I was visualizing yesterday. It's beautiful. And there's water again with blue cloudy sky, which was kind of like today's visualization. Huh. I'm just about on top of my next goal. I'm practically running there. I need to slow down. Well, the second I got to the point, my Fitbit just did 10,000 steps. Like, the step that landed, my phone buzzed and my Fitbit buzzed. Does that mean something? I don't know. There's a tree that had the marker on it and it's pointing down at the ground now, down into the ground. Huh. Let me just go. That's so weird. I can't. So what I was intending on that one was friendship, and I was picturing two hands, like holding hands. I was kind of thinking like maybe there'd be a person here that I know or something, but well, there's a hand. A glove. So that was my adventure. So from the moment I started, from when I tapped get directions, and I really started on my way, just a few steps after that is when I came to the Trail of Crayfish, as I'm calling it. And I'm going to get more into that later, but when I got home, I looked up the symbolism of crayfish, and it's pretty interesting. Crayfish is a symbol of regeneration. It often loses its legs or claws and can regrow them easily. As a water creature, the crayfish represents the psyche, dreams, and subconscious. It reminds us to pay attention to our intuition, listen to our dreams, and look for symbols in both our waking and dream world, which sounds a lot like randonauting, doesn't it? And I also saw a mention of it in Native American mythology, which was pretty interesting. So, it is known as the earth diver, the small but brave creature who retrieves mud from the bottom of the primordial ocean so the earth can be created, which is a lot like the other symbolism I just read, I feel. So when I was standing under the power lines, it felt very strange. It was just a very strange feeling, and like I said, I get that feeling whenever I walk under power lines, so I don't really like to walk under them. But that whole area up on top of the hill there and over by the power lines felt very dream world. Felt like a dream world. But on my way back, I found this crazy rock, which was just sparkling in the sun. And I put it in my pocket and I kind of forgot about it until the next morning when I woke up, and I wasn't sure if it was like part of the road. It doesn't, you might think it's a lava rock, but it looks slightly different if you saw it in person. It's a very black rock. So for some reason the other morning I just thought to myself, I should see if it was magnetic. And I think it's maybe partly because I've always wanted to find a meteorite. It's a life dream of mine to find a meteorite. And one way to check a meteorite is to see if it's magnetic. And this rock is magnetic. This rock is magnetic. But I don't think it's a meteorite. So I looked up magnetic rocks, and I found out about lodestones, also known as magnetite. And it is a potent stone for manifestation, helping you to attract what you desire, what you most desire, including both desirable situations and people. It has an impressive capacity to balance the hemispheres of the brain. That's what it says. That's what the symbolism of a lodestone, also known as magnetite, is. Is this a lodestone? I don't know. I don't know what that is. But it's also coincidental that I found this on the day I found it. Because I woke up that morning, and when I went on Facebook, everybody was posting the obituary of a science teacher who taught, we had a planetarium in our junior high, and he taught planetarium, astronomy. And he is the one that told me how valuable meteorites are when I was probably 13, and about hunting for meteorites, and got me really excited for meteorites. So he was actually kind of on my mind when I found that. So that was kind of a coincidence that I found that on the day I found out he died. So, getting back to the crayfish, though. Crayfish are known for their sense of navigation, and they navigate by magnetic fields, like lobsters also. And once, years ago, I came home one night, and there was a crayfish sitting on my doorstep. And I said to this crayfish, how did you get so off course? How did you lose your direction? Your compass must be really messed up, was what I was saying to this crayfish. And I think I turned around and pointed him towards the water, and I just thought that was really unusual when that happened, because they are known to have such a great sense of direction. So why was he sitting on my doorstep? But that all ties back to lodestones, because lodestones are magnetic, and they are what they used when they first started making compasses. And if you watched my Randonaut expedition previously, you'll know I was visualizing and focusing on direction, and my visualization was a compass. But as you saw, if you watched today's adventure, I actually found a compass this time, right by my second point. Which, that just kind of blew my mind. That was really, really strange. So, one more thing. For my third stop, I changed my intention to friendship. And when I got there, I didn't really see anything for friendship. There was an arrow pointing down into the ground, and I really felt like that was what I was supposed to see. And I guess you could link that back to the crayfish, where I read the Native American mythology, where it's the earth digger and creation. And the crayfish was the very first thing I saw on my randonauting journey, and then the ground was the last. You could make that connection if you wanted to. I mean, it's what you make of it, right? But there was one more coincidence. When I got home and everything was all done, the very first thing I saw when I went on Facebook when I got home, of course, and the very first thing I saw was a meme of two hands holding each other, and it was exactly like what I was picturing, so I thought that was an interesting coincidence too. Alright, see you next time.